Hey guys, what's up? It's Deborah and Robbie with Sewing the Sanctuary, and we are getting ready to do the garden space today. So, you want to talk a little bit about what you want to maybe accomplish for today?
I just want to get it tilled, put the dirt under, that way it can somewhat decompose whatever weeds and bugs and whatever needs to happen. We are way late on what we should have done it way before. We're gonna till it and cover it, and that way we'll be ready here in a month or so, couple months maybe, to plant.
So yeah, it is really later than we had hoped. So today is actually February the 21st, and we are...
Oh, congratulations on doing another video. This has been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. So for those of you who are new, of course, my name is Deborah and this is Robbie. And we did post videos on a pretty much regular basis. It's been a while. So this is our first video in probably, gosh...
A year.
Not a
better.
year.
Yeah, it has.
Seriously, a year?
Yeah, absolutely. Go look at your YouTube.
10 months. Like maybe 10 months.
Okay,
maybe a year. But anyway, so yeah, so we're going to take you along with us on this journey of today. It's actually a really pretty day. So yeah, it's nice and sunny, blue skies, and it's just a perfect day. Even though we're later than we had hoped, it is a perfect day to get outside and get some vitamin D. So yeah, it is late February, and we do have the garden pretty much tilled before now, but we're not terribly late. What we're late in is sowing seeds. That's late. So even though we're getting a late start, we're still going to do it. So we hope to, I hope to get that done this week. So yeah, we're on break this week, me and the kids. I'm a teacher full time.
You're on break. You took me out of work.
Yeah. So
she made me play hooky.
Yeah. Well, it's just more fun when you have someone to do it with, and it's a space that we both enjoy.
You need that motivation.
I need that muscle. So he's going to do the tilling, and I'm going to hopefully get our boys. We have 2 sons. I'm going to get them to help me move some brick. We do have some brick in there. I'll show you that in a minute. And I hope to get them to move that brick for us. So yeah, it sounds like today all we're going to do is get the tilling done, and cover it up.
Maybe a couple other things. Maybe we got some surprises to do. I don't know. So it depends on what kind of time we got. We got soccer later, so.
Yeah, so let's go outside and take a look. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take the brick and go ahead and lay it on this pallet. I'm gonna get the boys started. They're getting more brick. They're getting more brick in the wheelbarrow. They're gonna bring it over here. I'm gonna get them started with the first layer, and then this is gonna be their job for the day. They're gonna stack the rest of this brick on top of these bricks. So this is a pallet that I actually was able to get from my mom and dad's house. They're in the process of moving and downsizing, so we went over to their house this past weekend. We were able to help them clean out their basement. This pallet was actually in their basement. They were just going to trash it or burn it, and I decided to bring it home with me instead because I knew that I would be doing this project and it would be perfect for this. The boys are bringing the brick out of the garden over to me because I wanted to free up the space in the garden so that I could use it for more planting this year. And we are going to put it on this pallet so that in the future, when we build our glass greenhouse, it'll be much easier for us to maybe take a tractor and put the forts up underneath the pallet and move it again, so that we're not having to do this entire process all over again. So this is going to be used for some flooring in our greenhouse. This was actually brick that was already here on our property when we bought our home, and so we're just going to refurbish it and use it for the greenhouse floor. That project won't be ready. This is actually the space that the greenhouse is actually going to be built. You can see me pointing and explaining it to Graham, but our greenhouse is actually going to be built off of that other garden shed that I was just pointing at, and the brick's going to be actually the flooring in that space, so it'll serve its purpose for sure. Need some help? Brother, go change? Think he's changing, or he's trying to get out of it? Go check on your brother. All right, so I'm just sitting down having a little bit of a break. The boys went inside to make lunch for all of us, and they still have this much of the stack that they've got to gather up and take to the new stack over there. So they're making headway. They're not as quick as I had hoped, but at least they're outside working. That's something that a lot of kids these days don't really know a lot about. So for that, I'm appreciative. Robbie's over there mending the fence. I'll show that to you in just a few moments, but we have a fence. You definitely want to make sure that your garden space is not accessible for creatures to get in. We live out in the country, so we have a lot of deer. Is heavily populated, so we want to make sure once we start growing our veggies and getting our flowers planted that we don't have the deer come in and take all of our hard work away, because goodness knows that's happened before, and it's just a big, huge heartache. So he's mending the fence, and I'm just sitting down for a moment, just wondering what I'm going to do next. I've actually added a few trinkets to the garden. I've not really been able to do that in years past because we've been so concentrating on getting our soil ready, mending the soil, getting everything good to go for gardening, that we've not really been able to add the trinkets and add it to our garden spaces to make it a place that we want to really come out and sit and hang out and enjoy all the beautiful things. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I've gone into our little garden shed that's right here behind me to gather some things that I've collected over the years, and I'm just kind of adding it to the space just to kind of bring joy to the heart, because I want this year to be about growing the veggies, starting the seeds, planting, doing all the things, but I also want it to create a space where we can actually come out and have dinner in the garden, or if we're coming out and we're picking and trying to harvest our veggies, that we can have a table a table maybe to set everything on. If we wanted to cut a tomato right there and then and eat it fresh out of the garden, we would have a table, and I would just bring some plates out here and some knives and have a tomato sandwich. So yeah, I just want to kind of make it a little bit more user-friendly to fit the needs of our family, and just make it a space where we can actually come out and hang out. Robbie is fortunate enough to work from home now, so if we're wanting to take a lunch break in the summer, we can actually come out here, and this could be our place that we actually eat. So we're going to put a table out here. Wanted to show you a couple of things that I've added to make it a little bit more inviting. These are some chairs here that Robbie was able to salvage from his old co-worker when he worked at Kia. He was actually a guy who liked to go out and just buy things from like yard sales and thrift stores, and these are some things that he grabbed. We never have actually painted them or redid them, but to me that's okay. They're worn out, they're rusted, they're weathered, but to me that just adds such character and charm to a garden space. So we have these chairs here that we're going to use hopefully a lot this summer. And my mom, we went over to her house this past weekend to help them clean out their basement, and she has this bike of hers that she did not want. And I've always wanted those cute little bikes that you see with the baskets on front. You can plant flowers in them or whatever. It's really a nice bike, so I don't know if I'm going to leave it out here or not. I haven't quite decided, but this cute little bike, I've added it to this space. So I'm trying to decide if I want to keep it out here, but I've always wanted a bike like that, so she was nice enough to give it to me. And then this right here was Robbie's grandmother's, the little fountain there. So I've added some little cute, if you can see, I've added the cute little flower pots to that, so I can plant something in it and have it on display. So when you come into the garden, you see the cute little plants. And I have this little flower water fountain. It's a little girl overlooking the fountain with two little birds that actually belong to my grandma. So I've added that to the space. And then we have our garden shed right here behind me. And this is kind of a place where we hang just old signs and whatnot, little trinkets. So I'm going to add some signs. I have some things in the garden that I'm going to hopefully get hung before I go back to work. And this right here is a cute little flower. It's made out of metal. I don't know if you can see it really well, but I picked this up at a festival a place that we used to live. I thought it was the cutest thing. Now this right here is actually a dish holder. I got it from my parents this past weekend, but I'm gonna use it as a trellis, I guess. And so I guess that's also something that I would want to encourage you guys. If you don't have a lot of money, you're on a tight budget, but you're wanting to create a garden space, just kind of use what you have, and just be very creative to kind of come up with things that maybe the typical person wouldn't think about. So I'm going to use that dish holder there that you just saw, and I'm going to grow something and use it as a trellis. So we'll see how that works out. This is my cute little bike. It used to be just metal. I spray painted it blue. I like to add color to the garden space to kind of give it a little pop. And this right here is precious to me. This was a table that actually my mom and dad had out when we were growing up. She had it out by the pool area. And this table right here is a table that I spent many, many days at as a child. So we're going to put a really good coat of oil-based paint on it. We're going to do some mending to it because there's some rotten wood in it, but we picked this up at my parents' basement this past weekend. And I've added some cute little trinkets here. I'm going to put some cute little flowers in it to kind of give it a pop of color, and we'll get some chairs. I'll find maybe, hopefully, maybe in the barn up there, or if we have some just kind of laying around somewhere, I'm going to see if maybe I can find some chairs for us so that when we do come out here, that'll be a table that we can sit at and eat. This right here is another bike that I was able to pick up from my mom and dad's basement. This is just this was actually my mom's bike. I remember her riding this even as a kid. So I put it over here in the corner of the garden. I've placed some flower pots down there that I'm going to grow some flowers out of. I put a fence behind it. This was actually a fence that my dad built. He used to keep our twin boys when they were little, and they were very, very active kids. And so he built that fence to kind of trap them in to like an area so that they didn't wander around the house, which I thought was a good idea. And when he said he was going to throw it away, I said, nope, I'll take that. And I'll use that as a little trellis. I'll plant some flowers down here, and this will kind of give it a backdrop that it can grow up on. So I've added some cute little signs. This was, I don't know if you can see it, but it says, plant something and watch it grow. I actually got that from my mother-in-law one year for Easter. And so I've just hung it there on the bike. So I'm just going to be adding cute little things as we go. Again, I just wanted to make this a space where I can come out, sit, rest, and I want to get back into journaling and kind of really doing a better job this year about keeping a record of what's worked well, what didn't work well. And I would encourage you, if you're starting out with gardening as well, to kind of just take pictures, document your progress along the way. This is really we've been gardening for a while, but I would say this is going to be our 4th summer really going at it. Maybe 5th summer, actually. We've lived here for 5 years. So this is our 5th summer that we're really going at it hard and heavy. And every year we've learned so much, and we're still learning. So we're never going to be experts, I would say, because to me, that's the fun in it, is, learning each and every year something new. And so we're actually going to a garden class this weekend, and I think they're going to show us how to grow cold weather crops, and that's something that I've never tried. And so I do want to get into that. So I'm looking forward to that conversation this weekend. But this is our gardening space. Robbie was able to till all of this up. You can see there's still grass. Maybe you can see it. I don't know how great this camera is, but you can see there's still some grass in it. We'll make sure that we rake that out. We're going to put a black tarp over this. We're going to wet the ground really well before we put the tarp over it. And that tarp's just going to help with keeping the weed control down, because we've worked so hard tilling it up and getting the weeds out that we don't want to leave any room for the weeds to be able to grow back. So I don't know how big this garden area is as far as square footage. Robbie, what would you say this garden space is right here in front of me? Square footage wise.
That space?
Yeah, right here, just this one. He's behind me on the ladder. I don't know if you can see him. He's right back there.
24 times 20 is what?
So a little over 400?
400, yeah. Well,
I would say between 400 and 500.
it's not 500.
You don't think so? But definitely 4. Anyway, it's roughly about 400, a little over 400 square feet. So this is typically where we grow our tomatoes. We put up a trellis for our tomatoes. We grow our okra, usually on that back row. And then we do zucchini and squash in this one bed. Seems like a lot of space, but we do tend to grow a lot of tomatoes. So we do have to have a pretty large space because of the amount of tomatoes we like to grow, and squash and zucchini. And then this area is probably less than half that space. So I would say this is right at maybe 200, if that. And this is where we grow our beans and cucumbers. And we did some fruit here last year. And then in these beds, we have 3 large beds this year. We were able to add one. Last year we only had 2 garden beds, and in those garden beds we did strictly just peppers, all peppers. We did, and I think we did a few beans, but the beans did not do well. So we did all things peppers, like banana peppers, jalapeno peppers. We did bell peppers. We did habanero. So I've had really good luck growing my peppers in these container beds. And then luckily this year we've added that 3rd bed over there. You can see it, but it's not quite where you can see the leaves that we've impacted in there. We still have to add the soil. So that's going to be a project that we tackle here in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, we were able to mend these 2 beds today. We were able to mend the bed right here in the middle, which is our in-ground gardening. And then we were able to mend that bed back there. And if all goes well, I'm trying to talk Robbie into building some more in-ground beds just out of 2x4s, I guess is what he was saying. My hope is to build some beds along the perimeter of this garden space. So we actually were able to do a lot today. We're going to hopefully trim up our vines, our muscadines, because they are going pretty wild. So yeah. Oh, thanks. What'd you make? Did you heat it up, baby?
No.
Okay. Would you mind going to heat it up for us?
Did they see my Fortnite announcement?
Oh, no, not yet, but I'll be sure to include it.
No, I gotta show them actually first.
All right, well, we'll do it. So do you want to go heat that up and we'll sit at our table and have some lunch for the first time
Where's
ever?
the lunch?
We're going to eat right here at our table. Won't that be nice?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to go heat up our lunch. We made some chicken pot pies yesterday. So, yeah, it's just been a really good day. It's nice to have some vitamin D. It's been kind of just gloomy this winter break. I mean, the sun's been out, but not like today. Today's been a nice day. It's actually blue skies. You can see through the trees there. So it's been really nice. So he's going to go heat up that lunch. And then, yeah, baby.
You want me to heat it up in the container?
Yeah, that'd be great. We bring out some paper plates. Will you bring some fruit too?
How long do I do it?
2 minutes. Yeah, if you'll just bring out some forks and some paper plates and get some fruit too, please. You can bring that tuna fish that we made the other day. But this right here is our fence. You're not going to be able to see it. It's super hard to see on camera, but this was luckily a fence that was already in when we bought the property. He's just doing some mending. It's not, I hate to say this, it's not the best fencing, but it's definitely doable. It definitely does the trick. Keeps the deer out for sure, but yeah, I guess that's why this is all Robbie. He says it's not the best fence, and I guess because he just wants to finish the top railing. So if you see, these are probably, 10 feet tall.
Yeah. I really need to.
So these are 10 feet tall, and the fencing goes up to about 9 feet, I would say. So he's just taking zip ties. I don't know if you can see it, but he's taking zip ties, and he is just tying the zip ties around the fencing so that it can stick to the poles and not have any troubles this summer with deer getting in. And that's the thing. Right now, it's all about just prepping. It's a lot of prepping, making sure that your soil is ready, making sure that your fencing is in line, making sure that, you know, you're starting your seeds, which I'm hoping to do that tomorrow or the next day, definitely by the weekend. And just, you know, just prepping your space. It's been in a season of rest, so you're just making sure that all of your weeds are gone. It's just the soil, that it's a good texture. It's rich in minerals and nutrients, and so that's what today's been about. It's just been about prepping the space to get ready for what's to come, because we're going to start planting. Our last freeze is probably going to be mid-April-ish, so that's what we do. We plan on that last freeze being about mid-April, and then right there in the middle of April is when we start planting everything. We're going to do a lot of direct sowing this year. Really the only thing that I'm going to start seeds on is my tomatoes, definitely my tomatoes and peppers, and flowers. We're going to do lots of flowers this year, because last year we did flowers. We did Mexican sunflowers, which was amazing. And we did I can't think of the name of them now. What is the flower that keeps away the pest? Oh my gosh. Huh? Yes. Why can I not think of that? Marigolds. I grew up on marigolds. My mom, that's all she grew growing up is marigolds. But we're going to do lots of marigolds this year. We had tons of success with marigolds. So yeah, that's the plan. So thanks for hanging out with us today. Hopefully you gained something from this. Maybe it's an inspiration for you to start your own little garden. And this year we're just kind of keeping it low budget. I did order seeds from Baker Creek. If you want to look into there, it's called www.rareseeds.com. I tend to have the best germination rate with Baker Creek. And honestly, I haven't used a whole lot other than Baker Creek because I haven't had to. My success rate with Baker Creek has been spot on. So if you want to check out Baker Creek, I would definitely give them 5 thumbs up for real, because, you know, the germination rate is amazing. Everything that I've ever started from seed from Baker Creek has definitely come up. And so it's just been a good experience for us. So yeah, we're going to start those seeds and then go through that whole germination process and then hardening off the tomatoes and all of that. So hopefully you'll want to watch some more videos as you can see us go through that journey together. So hopefully you've learned something from us. Hopefully we've given you some sort of inspiration and just living life. So yeah, check us out. We hope to see you again on here. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.